We are Onyx Imaging. We are the highest rated and most reviewed printer service center in Oklahoma.
Hi, my name is John with Onyx Imaging. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Canon MF8380 printer, and we're going to be looking at common causes for paper jams. So, we're going to start looking at the tray, the paper tray. So most of your main problems that are going to happen with paper jams are going to start in this tray. So one of the main ones is just as simple as making a mistake when you actually put your paper into the paper tray. It's really easy to, if there's already a little bit of paper in there, to just slide your next stack of paper on top of it. Sometimes when you do that, it's easy to kind of take a little bunch of paper and it'll kind of fold over on the back or sometimes in the front. If that happens, it can actually cause the paper tray to get too tight and it doesn't pull the paper through the printer properly. So you want to make sure anytime you put paper in, it's always recommended to actually take all the paper out if there's just a little bit left in there. Make sure it's nice and squared up, and you want to go through and actually kind of fan the paper as best you can. And just to make sure everything's kind of loose and broken up from each other. Again, make sure it's all squared off once again, and then put it back inside of your paper tray, making sure that everything sits in there nice and flush on all four sides, and that there's no paper curled on either the front, the back, or the sides, anything like that. The next one that we see quite often is, again, inside the paper tray. There's always going to be a little adjuster somewhere in there in order to set the paper tray for the size paper you're using. So in this case, we're using standard 11.5 by 11, or standard 8.5 by 11 paper, or your regular letter paper. So you want to make sure all your settings are right directly on the correct paper size for what you're using. So for here, we have everything set to letter. You want to make sure that it's not a little bit past your setting or a little bit or closer than your setting. Otherwise, again, you can either make the paper tray too loose or too tight, and again, it's going to cause more problems with the printer pulling paper through. So you want to make sure that it's actually set properly. So we'll install our paper back into the paper tray. The third thing that people do quite often just with putting paper into their tray is overfilling their tray. I understand you want to put as much paper in there so you don't have to do it as often, you can do it less often. However, if you overfill this tray, and it can again cause everything to be a little bit too tight, and the paper feed assembly inside the printer has a hard time pulling those first few sheets up. So try your best to leave it, just about 1/4 inch or so below the top line, just to make sure that everything's got enough room to move, and you're not going to cause anything to bind inside the printer. The next common cause for a paper jam inside the paper tray is actually rollers, which is just a normal maintenance issue. If you look underneath, you'll find the rollers located underneath there, and if they look smooth or glossy, then they're definitely been worn and ready to be replaced, in which case you can give us a call and we can help you out with that. Like I said, they should look textured. It's almost kind of like a car tire. They should have some kind of a texture, and that's what's going to actually help grab and pull the paper up through the paper path. So again, if they look shiny, that's when you know for sure that they need to be replaced. Other than that, on this particular model, that's the main place where you're going to see that paper jams occur. The only other place that you're really going to find it happening is on the back of the machine. And you'll find it located behind this rear panel, and it'll be somewhere back here by the fuser. Anytime you open the back panel, please be careful. This fuser gets very hot. So you want to make sure that you're not going to touch anything that can potentially burn you, so please be very careful. But you can locate the paper usually somewhere in here. Anytime you need to remove a paper jam, you want to make sure that you do so, you pull the paper firmly and slowly, and you want to make sure you have a firm grip on the paper. You don't want to just kind of pinch on one spot and pull. If the paper tears, it can make it much more difficult to get the rest of the paper out, and then you can have a much bigger problem on your hands. So anytime you do pull out a piece of paper, you want to inspect it, make sure all the paper came out, that there's not a little piece stuck in there somewhere. But other than that, you should be good to go. If you have any questions, or if you have a paper jam that you're unable to locate and you can't figure it out, please feel free to give us a call. Other than that, you should be back in printing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in how you can receive free labor on all of your service calls, as well as how to qualify for free printer upgrades, contact us today. We are here for all of your printer and office supply needs.